Right. I'm
So
just
be
trying to think
safe.
through those aspects again. Those, even if it's 4 days a week, just the Monday through Thursday. If there's the potential of 2 nights during the week going out with 2 different folks, you're encouraging that person. I mean, you're saying that I'm trying to determine if this is right, if you and I are right for each other. This is good for us.
Yes.
But you're saying that potentially to up to 2 folks during the week. I mean, if you're going out.
If the opportunity is there. I mean, if there is an opportunity for you and you see somebody attractive and you think that you might be compatible, just because you had a couple good dates with somebody else, you shouldn't stop yourself from going out with this other person. Again, I'm not the end-all, end-all.
Oh, no.
I'm just saying from my experience, from what I've heard from other people, I'm trying to set up standards for people.
Yeah.
My job is to slow things down because love is blind and our heart and lust and hormones, they really get in the way. I'm the first person to be very guilty of racing. As I put my hand up. I have definitely I've made all the mistakes, and I still do. I'm human like everybody else. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I race into things. I'm just telling people to slow things down. So even though I'm saying Monday through Thursday, obviously if there's an opportunity for Friday through Sunday, if you've already met the person, you know about them, and you know that there's chemistry, then fine, go on the weekend, no problem. Same thing, maybe you had a couple of days and you haven't had an opportunity, and that's fine. Ask them out again if the opportunity arises. Again, I'm just trying to set standards so people slow it down.
So you're pretty good on the do what I say and not, I mean, you're really into the do what I say, and I'm doing what I say. Yeah.
I have to.
Not just what I preach.
Hard. I mean, it's hard. I mean, my friends, we were talking about this before, my friends, we all joke. I'm like, I can't do it because I wrote the book on it. But it's really easy. You meet somebody attractive, but you know going down the road it's not going to work, so it's hard sometimes
It is, I'm sure. And this is in a big city like LA, there's probably a lot more opportunities that we talked about than here. If a viewer needs to run off to work now or get off to school, for someone who may have missed you yesterday here on the show, what's the best way for someone to learn more about you or learn about the book of Be a Dating Dahling? Is there a good place to track that down?
They can go to my website, thedatingdahling, DAHLING.com. It's pretty much most of the information, the lecture schedule, the advice column, the MySpace account, which I only do for advertising of the book. I want to make that very clear.
Well, MySpace is probably a good place to meet.
Well, you'd be very surprised. I was one of the people that, I don't do MySpace because child molesters, and it's got such a kind of a strange rap. It's the age group that's kind of not really my bracket. But it's really been a great advertising tool for me for young singles to really find out, and really for young college students to be safe. A lot of these kids get some pretty bad stories I hear from some of these young college kids. So, Amazon.com is a wonderful way to check out the book. There's a free preview there. Locally it's here in Barnes & Noble's, and most of the Walden Books here.
You have a lot of book signings. I know you had one this past weekend before the hardball.
I did.
That day you had a book signing.
I did at the Walden Books, yes.
The Walden Books, good.
Yes, and I was able to go to the hardball and really talk there, which was a wonderful event. And I was
Absolutely. Saw a lot of old friends. It was a good opportunity to get out there.
It was a wonderful opportunity, yes.
We think about, I saw a question that had been posed to you in another setting, Candace, about the lines blurring between men and women, with women becoming more independent. Has that been something that struck a chord with you? Have you seen that? What
happens is that women have become more independent socially, and what happens is they've lost a bit of their femininity, I think, when they go into dating. And with that, I mean, because more women are going into the corporate world and they're becoming presidents and vice presidents, they're used to dealing in a conference room with a bunch of guys, being a tiger. And I think when they go on a date, it's almost like that with a man. It's like two male energies together. And so a lot of guys are like, I really don't enjoy going out with a successful woman. It's not about intimidation. She doesn't know how to act like a woman. She's, doesn't know how to take me complimenting her. She thinks, something's wrong with that. I offered to pay for the dinner, and she thought that I wanted something more, that I was expecting something. She constantly argues with me. She's not very trusting. So I've really found that that's really affected a lot of women in the dating world. They don't want to trust as much as they've done before. So
how can guys get over that?
I think it's a problem with women. I think that they need to really, investigate. It's really the woman's problem.
Oh, I understand. But for a guy, how would he date a progressive, strong, independent woman?
I think that
he would have to say, honey, you need to work on that.
He would have to gently say that, and also be intuitive enough to know that this person is a nice, modest person, but also a successful person as well. We were talking a little bit about that before. If investigate people's behavior, you can pick on someone who's very successful, but not in your face all the time.
Sure.
Or when you say, this is like how I like to say, so how have things been? When a person says how they have been instead of going on their resume, like all the businesses that they've bought or how the career is going.
How do you date, Candace? That must be difficult.
I knew that question was coming.
Intimidating for guys if you're a dating relationship coach. I mean, an expert, albeit because you dated a lot, you at some point, I know Donna wanted me to ask how many dates you've been on, but I mean, how do you date in general?
Well, I think the question would be, Greg, how does Myrtle Beach's most popular bachelor go and date?
There's a lot of bachelors in, I date, but I'm the interviewer.
Why are you still single?
Those are very
Inquire, Myrtle Beach people want to know.
That's right. I'll find out. Let's finish the interview. I mean, but it must be a difficult thing at times since you're providing advice. Is that intimidating to guys?
It's very intimidating. It's very difficult for me to date. A lot of people think, guys board for sure,
Right. She's constantly...
because of just, I'm confident, not because of how I look. I'm not saying that I think I look this way, but because she's confident, she knows what to do. No. Because of what I do, it really scares a lot of gentlemen off because they think I'm going to grade the performance of the date or write about them.
Aren't you?
Well, of course, not so much what happens between us, but if they divulge something maybe about an ex or a friend or something, of course I'm going to change names and locations. I would never do that in a million years, but of course I'm going to write about it because it's going to help other people. But I really travel so much. I go back and forth from the East Coast to the West Coast. I am so busy, and it's my choice. I do tell busy singles, you can make time to date. For me, it's just my choice. I've been traveling so much, it's hard for me to cultivate a serious relationship. I love to date, and if I met the right person, I would be open to it. I just haven't met just that right person. So until then, I really enjoy meeting new people and discovering new places.
Absolutely.
And
you said 100 things that would segue me well into some other questions, but I'm just blown away.
Well, then if you can't think of another question, so we come back to why are you still single, Brad?
That's right. Why are women flaky? I mean, there's kind of that the fatal attraction approach. That's something that a lot of guys worry about. How do they make sure to get a stable woman? At some point in the relationship, they just snap. There's a lot of fears that many men have.
Well, men are psycho too, but I will honestly say women are much more psycho sometimes than men. I think that I've just heard some really horrible stories of tires being slashed and rocks getting thrown in cars and, women, following the gentleman, taking pictures of them. Men say that women are flaky because they have not taken the time to investigate really what they want. So what's happened is they'll go on a couple of dates with a woman, and then 3-6 months down the road, the woman will completely be different and change her idea of what she wants in a relationship. So ask right up front. Ask those 6 important dating Dahling questions.
Oh, yeah, let's hear those again. We've just got a couple of minutes, and they were great questions. The folks who missed it yesterday.
Age. What are your age deal breakers? Make sure you guys are close in age. Make sure you share the same religious beliefs. Make sure that person lives in a somewhat close location. Again, these are only if you want to get serious.
Right.
You don't want to be traveling to Africa someplace or to Britain back and forth. That's a sacrifice. Children, do you want kids? Do you not want kids?
Right.
Make sure that person is absolutely positively divorced, not separated. Separation, too much emotional baggage, absolutely divorced. And does that person have a ready-made family? Are they already coming in with a bunch of kids? And if you got married, are you okay with those kids living with you possibly? And being maybe a second parent to those children.
And you had said yesterday to go ahead and ask those or find those out on the first couple of days. Right.
And I forgot the most important one is you have to have chemistry. Do you have chemistry with that person? Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with physical attraction. People say, I want something more than physical attraction. I want something more than just physical attraction. You didn't say you didn't want no attraction whatsoever. So you got to have the initial magnetism. If it's not there at the beginning, if there's not a little bit of flood and fire happening when you first meet that person, it's not going to be there 30, 40, 50 years into the marriage.
We've heard a common phrase from a guy who's real popular in the dating world. Another guy, much like yourself, like David D'Angelo, is attraction a choice, Candace? Is attraction a choice? So oftentimes for guys, it may be purely external. What is it for women? How are they attracted to guys?
Attraction is a choice. I believe that. Chemistry is not a choice. I'll specify that. One of the reasons I'm not a big fan of eHarmony, which is an online dating site that say they can scientifically find chemistry with you and somebody else. Chemistry cannot be defined. No one can truly define it. Science can't define it. It's just that strange magnetism that happens between you and somebody else. What is your choice is beyond the chemistry, beyond the attraction, to see if it's going to happen or not. So that's where I like to be, but that's where the choice comes in. You can't choose who you're attracted to. That's why, it's fine when I tell people that are married or in relationships, it's okay, it's healthy to look at other attractive people. It's, if you touch or if you step that line, that is your choice. So make it your choice beyond attraction to see, to ask those questions. Know what your deal breakers are. Know what makes you tick. Don't make sacrifices. Stay true to who you are, and then I swear to you, God and the universe will magically bring that right person to you.
Those are great words.
Yeah.
Candace, I hate to say we've run out of time here at Johnny Rockets on the Thursday. Thanks so much again for being with us.
Thank you. I've had a great time.
Absolutely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People with Candace McKenzie coming up next. Golly, there's so many questions I wanted to ask this morning. We ran out of time, and this was part 2. I had about 19 other questions I wanted to get into. There were 3 critical ones, and I was trying to think, how can I get those answered? How, if you've got questions, can you get them answered? There's a great place. Check out thedatingdahling.com. That's DAHLING, thedatingdahling.com. Candace provides some tremendous information online. You can go ahead and send in a question, send in advice, even kind of a question. She quickly responds. It's a great opportunity. What about a normal guy? How can he meet an above-average gal? What can he do? Check out thedatingdahling.com. Or is there love at first sight? Is there such a thing? Check it out, thedatingdahling.com. Ask her that question. See what she'll say. I'd be interested. What about multiple, if there was an opportunity to meet multiple women and still not be considered a player? Do you want to know? Do you want to know that answer? Check out thedatingdahling.com.